How's it going, everybody? This is BeatTheBush. Today, we're going to talk about minimalism versus building wealth. As of late, there's more and more people making the news about how they're minimalist, how they can cut down on all the stuff that they own, maybe down to even like 100 items of every single thing that they have. You hear about those guys that carry a handful of items and that's all they need and they just go traveling everywhere instead. Well, let me tell you, being a minimalist almost seems like you're flaunting your wealth, because in order to be a minimalist, you actually have to have a lot of financial backing behind you to feel comfortable to be a minimalist. For example, if you're walking around, you only have a few items, and then you get thirsty. Well, you don't have something to drink. You whip out all your wallet, and then you buy it, drink it, toss away everything else. So in essence, you're using your wallet to replace much of the items that you have laying around instead. So why does this matter? Because sometimes minimalism seems like it's a path to being more wealthy, because if you're cutting away some stuff, you don't need as much of it, you're not buying as much of it. Maybe if you're getting rid of a lot of stuff, then you can earn a lot of money back by getting rid of it. But don't let extreme minimalism lead you to believe that it's a great way to build wealth. Let me show you why. For a person building wealth, you tend to buy things in bulk, because over a lifetime of buying stuff in bulk, you save a lot of money. Whereas a minimalist, they don't have things in bulk. If you buy things in bulk, you buy like a dozen, 2 dozen, I don't know, 50, 100 of them. And that wipes out the number of units of minimalists have, because they only have 100 things they want to carry. You just buy one thing in bulk, that's 100 items already. A minimalist, on the other hand, would just go and eat out, and it goes in a single serving. They're only going to order what they're going to eat, and then when they leave, they're not going to take anything with them. They only buy things in a single unit. For example, one drink, okay? That could be like $2, versus if you buy in bulk, it might be just 50 cents for that same exact drink. A wealth builder has their own blender, slicer, coffee maker, all these different gadget tools for the kitchen, because they make their own food a lot, and that saves a lot of money. A minimalist, on the other hand, would go eat out a lot. They would not have very many kitchen tools. They're not going to have a pasta maker or these doodads that, squeezes lemons or garlic press or whatnot. There's no tools needed because they don't need to use any of that. You can imagine how expensive that is when you go eat out all the time. Sure, you can become a minimalist, have only a few items, but it's very, very costly. On the do-it-yourself handyman side, if you're a wealth builder, you would have a box full of toilet parts like I do. I have a box full of toilet parts, just stuff that, I might use, in case the toilet breaks, because I don't go around calling the plumber. I fix it myself. A minimalist calls a plumber. They don't have any of these tools. They don't need to have the tools. If you have one box of tools, well, that's already satisfies the 100 items already in a minimalist little tote bag. The plumber has all these tools. They bring in all these things temporarily, fixes it, they leave. They're left with a toilet that is just by itself. There's no extra things to help support it. If it breaks, well, you're out for a while unless you have multiple toilets. So there is a drawback to being a minimalist, because if something breaks, you don't have stuff handy to fix right away. A wealth builder, on the same line of thinking, for example, for cars, you would have a lot of tools or car parts, specialty tools to do a certain job for the car that maybe you just bought once or something. You just have spares or something, whereas a minimalist has none of this. They'll just take their car to the car repair shop. And we know that fixing your own car, if you have the skills to do it, it's a lot cheaper than having it, repaired by the repair shop. Let me do one more set of examples, because I think this is really interesting and eye-opening. A wealth builder, on one hand, maybe not necessarily a pack rat, because a pack rat takes everything and just keeps it for later. This is in between, I guess. If you have something that you think you might use, yeah, that might clutter up your space, but it also allows you to be able to use that item if it ever comes up. There's an extreme case of this. If you do this too much, then yes, then you'll be a pack rat and you'll take up too much mind space actually when you have too much clutter. A minimalist, on the other hand, can just buy it again, even if it's expensive. That, again, means you need to have a certain financial status to be able to do something like this. Whereas a wealth builder, you have something like this already, so why would you throw it away? Why don't you just keep it? Then you don't have to spend extra money to buy it again. You might just be throwing it away as a minimalist. I don't want this, right? because you don't want to keep that many items. It's kind of wasteful in terms of resources, because after you throw it away, you get nothing in exchange unless you're selling it. But when you buy it back again, you have to pay even more to get back that same item. For a wealth builder, you might actually have duplicate items of certain things, even though you only need to use one at a time. If something like that breaks, then you can pull out something that is similar right away, and you will not have to go out running trying to find that item when it's not even on sale. A minimalist, on the other hand, will not have the duplicate items, and once that item is broken, you're scrambling to find a new one, and oftentimes that new one you have to buy right away. And we know that when you buy something right away and you have to buy it right away, most of the time it's not going to be on sale. Therefore, it's going to end up costing you more. So again, being a minimalist is more costly. Being a wealth builder, you might have a crappy phone like I do. I don't have a really crappy phone. I have an iPhone 5. But the camera is not so good. I actually have to use a point and shoot. You can see as a wealth builder, you might have a lot of individual items that would go against being a minimalist. Whereas if you're a minimalist, you can spend the extra money to buy one gigantic, nice new gadget that has the combination of multiple things like an iPhone 7 or whatnot, and then you don't need a point and shoot camera. As a wealth builder, you might be going out very prepared. You bring a bottle of water, you bring some snacks with you, you bring whatever that's needed. However, for a minimalist, you might have a bag that is very light. You have barely anything in it. If you need something, sandwich, or if you're thirsty, you buy whatever drinks that's available. As you can imagine, that's quite expensive. So the less you carry, actually, the more it costs. Being a minimalist is sort of like taking only the things that you're immediately using, and everything else you kind of liquidate and put it inside your wallet. Either liquidate or just throw away outright. And when you have an immediate absolute need for it, you can just conjure it up by buying it from somewhere. The last and final item about wealth builders is space heaters and central heaters. A wealth builder will have both of them, because you have a central heating and then you have the space heater that keeps the area that you're actually in a little bit warmer. A minimalist might not want to have a space heater because that's one extra item. Instead, you can just use the central heater and just blast it and make the whole place warm. Therefore, it's going to cost more in energy usage, but you can be a minimalist. You can have less items. I hope that helps shed some light on minimalism and how that relates to building wealth. I'm sure with these initial few examples, you guys can figure out plenty more examples. Let me know in the comment section if you have some ideas. Don't forget to give me a like on this video. You can help support it through the Audible link down in the video description below, or directly through the Patreon link. And as always, don't forget to subscribe over here. Thanks for watching.